I want to introduce Sizwe. Sizwe is probably the second longest person that I have had a relationship with on this call here. And is probably maybe number 8 in the entire tribe of the people that I've been coaching. Sizwe is married to Nomsa. He is fully employed. He has taken on Eastern agents, being an agent a year and a half ago, if I'm not mistaken, but he'll correct me when it comes. And over and above that, he hasn't been scared to fail because he has done so many business in between. Some of them I even asked him, why were you doing that business? There's no money in that business. But he wasn't scared to try. He went on to try it and he was able to do it. He had been successful this last year. We've been working very closely in our coaching sessions. And he's been very successful and diligent in his side business. So, Sizwe, I'll give the floor to you, brother.
Good day, everyone. I'm thankful to TJ for this opportunity, and thank you for the wonderful session that we've had so far. And thanks to all the speakers. So TJ has asked me to present the ways which I balance my 9-to-5 job and still win in my side hustle, or maybe side hustles. Depends. Yeah. So yeah, my name is Sizwe. I'm from Soweto/KZN. I am Zulu Swati. Grew up partly in KZN, partly in Soweto, partly in El Dorado Park, because I went to school, the whole of my primary school in El Dorado Park. And then growing up, I was always introduced to sales. I've always had. I didn't know that I had a passion for sales, but in everything that I've done, sales has always been the main thing. I mean, when I was in high school, I remember I sold. I got a friend of mine who had a connection. I don't know where he got boxes of bee cheese. If anyone knows bee cheese, I think now we have. What do we have? Airwaves and stuff like that. Yeah. So he was selling a box of bee cheese, and I used to buy from him and sell at school. And I got into trouble because now every kid at school was chewing gum, and everyone was pointing to me. And then I got into trouble, and my business ended very, very sadly because all my bee cheese that I had invested in had been confiscated, and yeah, I sold quite a lot of stuff as well. Some of the things that I sold, I was just selling. And then fast forward when I was much older and not working, I had the love of computers. I got the love of computers from a friend of mine who was studying computers at the time, that was fixing computers. And I eventually also studied IT, or fixing computers. And eventually I started selling, building computers from scratch, using some of them secondhand parts, new parts. And at the time, this was in the early 2000s. The internet wasn't for everybody. So I used to buy a lot of very expensive newspapers. I think it was junk mail. It was very expensive at the time, and all the classifieds. And I used to take taxis to places I'd never been, Randburg, and walk almost the whole day just to go see a shop which sells secondhand computer spares and whatnot. So again, it was still my sales love or passion that I was building. And then, as I said, that I'm full time into IT. I've been in IT now for quite a while, maybe around 15 years, and also started investing in property in 2016. That's when we bought our first property. And things have gone on and on where we've bought more properties, and I was then involved in I tried trading. So this all came on the legacy education that we had attended. So they introduced me to property investing, and then again they came through and they had a course on trading. So I think my one of my mistakes has always been just chasing after everything. Then I enrolled on a course for trading, went on a very rigorous course, but that did not amount to anything, because instead it just took more time away from me from the normal property investing, because it also required a lot of time. I had to study some markets, Asian markets and whatnot. But with all my failures, there'd always been wins. And then I also took up network marketing, and I started selling products. I started learning and being coached on just approaching anyone and everyone. If I went to a mall, I could speak to anyone. If I found someone that's doing something or just standing around, I could speak to them and just have a small conversation, but knowing that I'll pull the trigger and start introducing something, whether recruiting or selling a product. So all of that has actually allowed me to to grow stronger and stronger, or grow my muscle for side hustling. So today I'm going to speak about my recent side hustle, which is in real estate. So as I mentioned, 9 to 5, I'm employed in IT, but then I've got a real estate side hustle business that I'm involved in. And it's fairly new, because I think almost the same time, same time last year, I was excited. So Nomsa, my wife, she started the real estate before me, and eventually I jumped on board as well. And I was excited. We had a one-on-one with TJ, and I was just excited to tell him that, hey, I'm now going to be a real estate agent and whatnot. And TJ, being TJ, he always sometimes poke holes in whatever you come you present to him. And he actually saw that my excitement was just out of excitement, but not out of any education. And he just asked me a question, and he said to me, have you actually had training on real estate before? And I actually never had training at the time. But fast forward, now I'm over a year into the business, and I've got quite a lot of wins from that. So I'll just go through my slides. Okay. Okay, so my wins for 2024. I'm a real estate agent for Keller Williams. As you can see on the left over there, there's a for sale sign. So I've actually listed quite a number of properties with quite a number of properties, and I've also signed quite a number of offer to purchases. Some of them went through, most went through, but some did not go through. And all of this has actually given me a whole lot of education on the real estate market. Some of the things are not things that you actually learn in class and in the textbook. And the particular field, or we call it a farming area that I chose, because I'm also an investor. I chose to sell student accommodations, or maybe just to trade around the student accommodation area or surrounding areas. This was deliberate because I know that some of the opportunities I will get those opportunities and take them for myself. But then this is just to actually keep me in the game or keep the fire burning within me. And then within a year of being a real estate agent, I am number 16. There's my name there, Thandi Sizo Shabalala, number 16 out of the top 50 producing agents. This is not only from our market center, but out of all Keller Williams in South Africa. And there's nothing wow about that. But what is wow is that I'm doing this part-time as a side hustle. And most of 90% of these agents, or close to 100, they are actually doing this full-time. So for me, it is a big win. Okay, as I go through my slide. So part of my wins for 2024, and this was through the help of TJ. He actually introduced me to going on holiday and not using much of your money and just taking some of your groceries with you when you go on holiday. I mean, this worked very much for us because most of the time when we do go on holiday, I mean, the same breakfast that we would buy, like eggs and burgers and all of that, these are things that we always have and keep in our freezer. So why travel to a place and then buy those things where you can, whereas you can just take them with you because you had already bought these items. So in August this year, as part of our wins, as part of my wins for selling a couple of deals and getting a bit of money, we went with our family on holiday. And we had great fun. It was a long weekend, and there's my kids. They are very happy, and yeah, everything was just good. So yeah, these are all my wins. And as TJ mentioned that this year I've been driving an old, what term did he use? An old Skodong for forever. I'm not a very flashy. I'm not a flashy person at all, but I've always had this thing that when I turn 40, I was driving a Golf 1 for quite a long time, and I always had this thing that when I turn 40, I want to buy myself a car, a more comfortable car. And thanks to Noms, because to show how not so flashy I was actually going to buy a Kia Picanto or just any other entry-level car with an aircon and power steering. Since Golf never had any of those. So Noms, I said, no. You are working so hard. You've been saving money. You are actually doing all the things that you had said that you would have done. So why don't you just spoil yourself for once and get yourself a decent car? And in that picture, that is with the beautiful view, panoramic view over there, that is the decent car. There's my kids over there. So it's quite a spacious car as well, good for family. And there's my beautiful wife there in the front and myself trying to fake a smile over there. Okay, so those are all my wins. And okay, the next slide is why I started my side hustle. And this is very important and dear to me. Okay, on the first point, I did this to receive extra income. We work 9-to-5 job where you have to be dependent on your manager, who's also dependent on their manager, and it just goes on that dominoes effect. And you find that when it's time for increases, if you are lucky if you're getting 3% or even 5%. And currently at my company has been doing restructuring. Last year, there were people that were affected by these Section 189s and whatnot. And again, I think there's another restructuring that's coming again now. So having extra income and trying to have a choice as well, and not being dependent just on one stream of income has always been on my A list. And also, I want to have a great life for my family. I love my family, and so does everyone. And I want them to actually have all the things, especially my kids, all the things that that I never had. I also want to enjoy my life. It's never too late for me. Not that I had a bad life growing up, but I want to travel whenever I want to, when opportunity avails itself, and not be discouraged by any circumstance in terms of money or anything like that. I want to afford my kids the great schools of choice. As on that point, in 2023, 2024, we were actually put in a very difficult situation, because my daughter was in grade 7 last year, and we had applied for a school that's quite a bit further from us, a public school, and it's one of the best public schools around, like in the areas with sport, with those former Model C strict schools. And obviously with what the government is doing now, the Department of Education is they actually measure you in terms of the radius where you stay and the kilometers. So we didn't qualify, and we tried some ways to actually qualify for this, but it blew up in our face. And the school that they had chosen for my daughter, when we did the research, it was not part of the schools that we had chosen. So they just chose a school, and when we went to the school to get the forms there, I remember the look and the stance and on the look on my wife's face when we approached the school. She just changed, and I saw her stance also changing, and I just thought, okay, maybe there's something that we can do. We can't really put our daughter through a school like this. We can already see what the school is like before we even take our daughter there. How you see such things, I mean, the basic things such as uniforms. Some children, they don't even wear uniform. Some of the children, they wear whatever they like, and some of them during school hours they are already outside just doing their thing. And this is not the life that we had ever planned or want for our kid, for our child, and whereas this is a girl child. So we were actually forced to actually look for a school, and this would be a school much out of our affordability, but everything just worked out at the end. Why? Because we have these side hustles where we actually receive extra income, and that actually opened up the opportunity for my daughter to go to a very, very good school, and currently she's extremely happy. And she's just doing quite well. Just and it's all because of having that mindset to have extra, and just always know that there's always more out there. So also part of me doing having a side hustle is living a full life where money is no issue. So all those things that I've just mentioned, if money is an issue, then there would always be unhappiness or infighting between between myself and my wife, for starters, and that will also then translate to our kids, because I'll be the grumpiest father, because I come home and when I left, there was a full loaf of bread and cheese. And when I come back, there's no bread and cheese. So imagine what that would do now. You start fighting over those, I would say small, but these are not small things, because these are issues that a lot of families have, and it actually creates separations and fights within those families. And with the side hustle, I also do it to be able to afford me to buy more assets that will afford us financial independence. So we're buying our time back. I want to be active to our in our children's lives as they go to school. I want to be there when they have school tournaments or things like that. And I can safely say that I've had that. I've been there. I always try and be, and I always try to be there because I've got the extras that actually come that I actually receive. And also, I want to leave a legacy for my children. So the side hustle might not necessarily leave a legacy, but the monies and everything that I get through property sales and whatever else I do, it actually allows me to actually invest more into growing assets, and that's the legacy that I will leave for my children and their offspring. Okay, so those were points on why I chose a side hustle, or why I do a side hustle. But my biggest why, bottom left-hand corner, is my family. There's my beautiful Unomsa there, my daughter Unosipo, she's 13, my little boy Tabo, he's 6, and Unomsa on the right-hand side, she's my rock. She keeps me going. Life is challenging, and we all have different challenges in life. And as energetic and spunky that one always find themselves in, but life also happens, and you sometimes feel down, and you sometimes you sometimes need to always see why you actually want to do something before you even give up. So my biggest why is my family. And then my side hustle, as I did mention that I'm a real estate agent, and that is my side hustle. And in the screen there, those are some of the featured properties that I have actually listed. And to date, I've listed quite a lot of properties, and I allude that to having a family that actually that's actually supportive. And again, the word intentionality will always come up. I'm intentional, so me being intentional, I then intentionally communicate the desire I have in terms of growth and whatnot with my family, who in turn then support me to actually be the best that I can be. And that's another dashboard again that just shows the properties that I've listed. I mean, I'm doing areas in Auckland Park, in West Dean, in Brixton. Again, these are strategic areas that I focus on because of what I do as well on being an investor. And then, okay, the biggest question, how I manage it all whilst being a dad, whilst being a father, a husband, and also whilst working 9 to 5. So the first point there would be to set clear boundaries and priorities. So you need to define, or I always try and define my priorities. Understand what's most important to you. I mean, you got family, work, and side hustle. So you need to rank them so that you can make choices and then try and so if ever there's conflicts arising, then you know that there's a rank you need at which you have to place these things. And then you have to set boundaries. So you need to allocate specific times for your side hustle. Also, so it's how you balance, I mean, work and then family as well. So just as an example, I work 9 to 5. Some days I'm at home. Actually, I can say half of the days I'm working from home, half of the days I'm working from the office. So how I actually manage and always put in some time into my side hustle as well. I mean, lunch times. I've never really been a person who actually hangs around and sit in groups during lunchtime. And especially in IT, most of us who are in IT, we're always we are known that we have our lunch at our desks because you always have to look at your computer and whatnot. So I took that as an advantage for me. I'll have my lunch at my desk and just carry on, but then I know that I've got 1 hour lunch every day. So what do I do with that 1 hour lunch? That's for me. That's the time where if I need to sometimes do some cold calling and call clients to book appointments or stuff like that. That's the hour that that actually works for me. Sometimes if I need to, I use that hour also to read. I try and read, maybe not every day, but every day, 5 days a week. I make sure that I at least read maybe a chapter or so. So I use that hour actually to get me ahead. And I mean, we all have 24 hours, so it's not that everyone needs to use the lunch hour. You can always start maybe in the morning, if it depends what your morning also looks like, or you can actually use your afternoons. I've tried afternoons or late nights. They used to work before, but I think as I'm getting older and older, yeah, I can feel a change in my body and system as well. Like now, if ever I want to do anything after 9 or 10, then it just doesn't work. Yeah, it just doesn't work. My mind is not there and my body is not there. So you should always try and find good times that can actually work for you. Also, with family as well, you need to set time aside also for family. I'm a father, and I need to be there for my children. I need to make sure that my 6-year-old son, who's in grade 1, reads every day, because he brings these readers, and also reading is part of our culture at home. So I need to allocate time with him where I assist him with the reading, just to give him confidence as well. We do maths. We also play. Is a child. My daughter as well. Also, she needs to have her time. There's a lot of things that I actually took from TJ as well. That sometimes you need to have dates with maybe your children. So I make time as well during the week to have those little ice cream dates or maybe a burger or anything like that, just so that I can be there for my children. And also I make sure that my wife as well, that I have time for my wife as well. The good thing is that we are in the same industries with my wife. She's an accountant. So we always meet up and discuss our business, because she'll also maybe do numbers on that. She helps me a lot with admin as well on my real estate with Excel spreadsheets, which is something that I'm not that strong at. But also we have our off time where we just have to be ourselves and not discuss anything that's business related. So you always need to try and set your time and allocate your time. As I said, we all have 24 hours. So We just need to learn and ways where we can actually use those the time effectively. Next point is you create a schedule and stick to it. Time block your day. Time blocking. There's books actually that actually assist in terms of learning or yeah, where you actually learn, because I never understood what time blocking means, but there are books which you can read that actually teach you the effective ways to actually use up or do time blockings. Use a calendar to block out time for work, your side hustle and family activities. Include breaks and downtimes to avoid burnout. I think that's a very important task as well, because you don't want to overexert yourself, and then you find yourself burning out, and you then become redundant. Early mornings or late evenings, obviously depending on your schedule and what actually works for you. Carve out time when others may be asleep. This allows you to work on your side hustle without taking time away from family. So some can do it early morning, some can do it late evenings, whatever that works for you. But you got to find something that actually works. And then you need to automate and outsource tasks. Use automation tools. Automate repetitive tasks in your side hustle, like email responses and social media posts. There's a lot of learnings on AI and everything that on the net as well that can assist you actually to be able to be good in automating tasks. And then outsource where possible. Hire help for tasks that don't require your personal touch, such as administrative work or accounting. As I mentioned, that my wife would assist me with some a lot of administrative tasks, because I'm not as good in administration. I've got a daughter as well. She would also assist me with compiling my database and having a daughter that also assists, for me, it also opens up her mind for long term. That's okay. Sometimes you need to actually work so that you get ahead. So those are the tasks that I'm also that are also helpful, I think, for her growth as well. And the next one, it says involve your family when appropriate. Yeah, that's my wife, that's my kids. And you need to be intentional. So you need to communicate your goals. Let your spouse and children know why the side hustle is important, so that they can in turn support you as well. So the support is very handy. Sometimes if you've communicated that this is very important to you, and these are the things the tasks that you need to complete daily. If my wife sees me maybe one day just sitting at a certain time, she will ask me, aren't you supposed to do this? Aren't you supposed to do that at this time? So that's part of the support, even the kids as well. If they see that their dad is now doing other things at a time that's supposed to be time to push work, because I've communicated this with them, they would also just try and push me and ask me questions as to what's wrong, like why am I not doing what I need to do. And then share small tasks. So depending on the nature of your side hustle, there may be a simple tasks, your spouse and children. So I've just alluded to that as well, where my daughter actually assists me with compiling my database, maybe for the day or for the week. So that is very good for me and for her as well. Maximize your productivity. So, and I'm very guilty of this, but every day I try to kick myself out of doing it. Avoid distractions. So limit social media or unnecessary phone use during your side hustle time. And yeah, as I said, I'm human. Sometimes when I do things, especially when your phone is nearby, I start taking my phone. I took my phone initially to to do something on my phone, but now there's a post that I'm seeing maybe on Instagram, and then it just takes up all my time. And once you watch one clip, you can easily just spend the 30 minutes of whatever small time or little time you had, and it just becomes a time waster. So you need to work on that. You need to acknowledge if that's your weak point, and then just work on that. Maybe if you can't help yourself during your whatever time that you've allocated, just put away your phones, put away anything that might just distract you, so that you can do what you need to do. And take care of yourself. Get enough sleep. Again, I'm very guilty of this, but I always try and get better on this in terms of sleep, because I tend to sometimes sleep a little bit late, and I know that I wake up very, very early, like around 3:45. My alarm goes off, and that's it for me. So don't sacrifice rest for productivity, as it can lead to burnout. And then stay active and eat well. So at least this is one part of my of what works for me. My vitality. It's part of my wins. I've worked very hard to actually strengthen my vitality. So physical health is very important for sustaining energy levels. I exercise a lot. I think latest 5:30 in the morning, I'm already at the gym. And yeah, that actually gives me, it vitalizes my day, my mood, my energy, just everything. It just keeps me on top of my game. And then also you need to regularly reevaluate your approach, adjust as needed. So life changes. So life happens all the time. So you need to review your schedule and priorities every few months, and adapt to new challenges and opportunities. Because why? Because life happens. Okay, and then this is my toolbox to success. On the left-hand side, TJ mentioned earlier that he's part of the John Keogh Club. So in 2018, I enrolled for a course by Robin Banks, who's the custodian for Mind Power, and this has blown my mind. Before then, I never knew what I know now. I mean, ever since I started with this course, I learned the art of meditating, and it works very much for me. And affirmations. Sorry. So part of my mornings every day when I wake up, especially early morning, before I do anything, I sit in the dark. I start meditating, and then I recite my affirmations. This is daily. So whatever affirmations I recite, they always keep how can I say, they always there. So if it's about growth, then I'll say something about growth, and it means that every day my mind is always fine-tuned to growth. My mind is always fine-tuned to having the best family, or growing the love and being true to my wife and my kids. So affirmations have actually worked quite a lot for me. I read the book as well, the Mind Power in the 21st Century. Mind-blowing what you can actually do with your mind. So that actually is part of my toolbox. And there's my family over there. Whenever I'm down, I just look at pictures and videos and think of them, and I know that I'm gonna reset and go again. I try to read a lot. Over the years, I've accelerated my reading, and I made it a culture also at home. And also, as I said, that I train a lot. On the last picture there, that's me in the swimming pool. And as TJ always encourages us that whatever it is that you need to learn, sometimes you need coaching on it. So I think about 2 years ago, I couldn't swim. I couldn't swim to save my life. I was that person who when maybe you are at a swimming event or at a beach, I would just walk with my long shorts or whatever. But I then, because I took my kids for swimming, swimming classes, I also wanted to what is it, talk the talk and walk the walk. So I also enrolled for swimming lessons, and I've got a swimming coach. And yeah, in the 2 years, I've actually learned quite a lot, and I can hold my own now in the water. So all of this, like with the swimming as well, it actually it's almost like my toolbox. It's almost like my meditation, because when I am swimming, sometimes I'm thinking of when I'm pulling those strokes, I'm actually thinking of the sales that I need to do, the clients that I need to meet. So it also works as my meditation as well. So and also the clean eating. And also, so all of these things, I'd say that they actually work on my thoughts to be clean as well. So everything around me, I try to be for it to be clean. I've actually, as the years have gone by, this was never my intentional, but I've my circle of friends or people within my space has actually narrowed as well, and I think that has also helped me, because yeah, it has allowed me to actually just be true to my family and be the person that I want to be, and instead of maybe having quite negative aura maybe around you, because sometimes, and this is not all the time, sometimes when you are at Prize all the time with people, some people they just add some negative energies, and whenever you try to speak positivity, then you are the most boring person and you then feel out of place. So coincidentally, my circle has just narrowed, and I'm with the people that I connect with, and that actually help me grow, and I help them grow as well. And one thing I forgot to mention, with intentionality as well, at my workplace, I was always intentional to let them know what I do, and it has actually worked for me throughout all the managers that I have, that I have. They know what I do. I encourage the young. I'm a senior at the team in terms of years and also position. So I always encourage the little ones that are coming in. And yeah, I just tell them that, look, you might be in your early 20s or maybe in your early 30s, but time flies. So just try and do something with your life. Try and whatever your gift is, if you've got a gift in baking, maybe bake some biscuits and come and sell it here at work or wherever, like just so that you can also learn the basics of getting extra money, because the times are very difficult. As I said, that at my workplace, they are actually restructuring. I might not be safe as well, and yeah, but that's the times that we are living in. The economy is quite bad throughout the country, and a lot of companies are actually doing the restructuring. So I always encourage the little ones and everyone that I actually meet at work. So that has worked tremendously for me as well, because I get support also from my peers and also my managers as well. And it also, because they know what I do and I've got a drive, sometimes they actually encourage me to ask, okay, what have you sold? What have you? So they actually just push me as well and they also asking me, okay, but you've been doing this. When are you leaving us? We're not saying that we're not enjoying you being with us, but we'd like to see you also grow to greater heights. So yeah, that's me and my toolbox as well. And yeah, that is the end of my presentation. And thank you very much for listening to me.